In the summer of 1981, the city of Toledo, Ohio, was a city caught in the grip of change. As economic hardships and rising crime rates weighed heavily on its residents, the city's struggles reflected the broader challenges of a nation in recession. Amid these struggles, a chilling mystery unfolded. A bright, ambitious young woman on the cusp of a new chapter in her life vanished without a trace. What began as an ordinary morning in a quiet law office would soon become one of Toledo's most enduring cold cases. This is the story of Cynthia Jane Anderson. Hello, friends. My name is Marcia, and this is Midwest Murders. Toledo, historically a hub for manufacturing in the auto industry, faced challenges in 1981 due to the national economic recession. The city's reliance on automotive manufacturing meant it was particularly hard hit as automakers adjusted to declining demand and increased competition from foreign car makers. Like many Rust Belt cities, Toledo faced issues of urban blight and population decline, with some neighborhoods struggling due to disinvestment and economic hardship. In the 1980s, Toledo also saw an increase in violent and property crimes. Economic struggles often correlate with higher crime rates, and Toledo's reliance on manufacturing meant many residents were affected by layoffs and financial insecurity. While Toledo's police department worked to combat the rising crime rates through increased patrols and community engagement, limited budgets and strained resources often hampered their effectiveness. It was against this backdrop that a young legal secretary would disappear without a trace. Cynthia Jane Anderson, age 20, lived with her parents Michael and Margaret Anderson in Lambertville, Michigan, about 10 miles northwest of Toledo. She was a legal secretary in a small Toledo office. Described as a decent Christian girl, she had given her notice at work and was planning to begin classes at William Tyndale College in Farmington Hills, Michigan, in just 2 weeks. On August 4, 1981, Cindy arrived to work as usual at the law offices of James Rabbit, J. Felstein, and Richard Naylor, and parked her car near the small glass-fronted office in the Manhattan Plaza Shopping Center at 559 East Manhattan Boulevard. At 8:50 a.m., a maintenance worker passing by the office looked in and saw Cindy sitting at her desk. She was wearing a white V-neck dress with red trim. At 9:45 a.m., a passerby who looked in the window to check the time also saw Cindy sitting at her desk. Sometime between 9:40 and 10 a.m., Cindy's mother tried to call to check on her daughter, but got no answer. Rabbit and Felstein arrived at the office from court at about noon, finding the front entrance locked and mail in the door. The office appeared to have been prepared for the day as usual, with a radio, lights, and the air conditioning all turned on, and they believed Cindy had gone out for lunch. At 1:15 p.m., Rabbit learned from an associate that callers trying to reach the office by telephone said they had received no answer from 10 o'clock on. Rabbit notified police about 2:15 p.m. that Cindy appeared to be missing. When police arrived on scene, they found Cindy's 1980 Chevrolet Citation in the parking lot, but her purse and keys were missing. There were no signs of a struggle. Investigators learned that when she was alone, Cindy kept the office door locked. A buzzer had been installed at her desk to alert the shop next door in case of trouble. This was due to strange and harassing phone calls Cindy had been receiving in the weeks prior to her disappearance. However, she never confided to anyone what was actually said during these calls. While she had a substantial balance in her bank account, she had only withdrawn $5 from the account the week of her disappearance. Based on the eyewitness accounts, police believed Cindy vanished somewhere around 10 a.m. A search was conducted by local police and National Guard troops who searched the wooded terrain, fields, and ravines. A family friend provided a tracking dog. No trace of Cindy was found. Various organizations posted rewards totaling $10,000, and Toledo police asked 3,000 coroners and medical examiners across the country to check unidentified bodies for a match to Cindy. Police initially worked the theory that the murders of several people who worked for a supermarket chain located in the same shopping center as the law office and were found slain in the month preceding Cindy's disappearance were somehow tied to the abduction of Cindy. However, no evidence to tie the cases together was ever found. Thomas Gilbert, age 23, was also considered a suspect early in the investigation. He was charged with the stabbing death of Sandy Jo Hogue, an Akron convenience store clerk, and he lived in Toledo at the time of Cindy's abduction. He was eventually ruled out as a suspect. Two serial murderers, brothers Anthony and Nathaniel Cook, would be found guilty for 9 killings between them, but denied any involvement in Cindy's case. While they were never charged in Cindy's case, they have not yet been ruled out. The closest police ever thought they were to finding out what happened to Cindy occurred with the 1995 arrest of drug dealer Jose Rodriguez Jr. and his attorney Richard Neller. Remember, Neller was partner of the law firm that Cindy worked for. In November 1995, a federal grand jury handed down a 25-count indictment against 9 individuals, including Rodriguez and Neller, and charged them with involvement in a large drug distribution ring in Toledo. That same month, police announced that they believed that Cindy had been killed by Neller because she had overheard some conversations between him and Rodriguez about their operation. While Rodriguez was on trial for the drug charges, a witness testified that he had confessed to the killing. He allegedly killed Cindy to send a message to Neller because Neller did not adequately represent him at his previous trial. However, police could not confirm this confession, and the case remains officially unsolved. Both Neller and Rodriguez received prison sentences for drug trafficking and remain suspects in this case. As of 2001, Cindy's father had refused to hold a memorial service or have his daughter declared legally dead, even though such a move would have released thousands of dollars in money the family had tucked away for her college fund. A $20,000 reward fund still stands for clues to her whereabouts. Cindy's mother, Margaret, passed away on February 1, 1983. Her father, Michael, passed away on January 2, 2008. I don't necessarily buy into the theory that it was Rodriguez or Neller who were responsible. If the point was to send a message, why not kill her at her desk? She knew Rodriguez and would likely have let him in the office. I believe it is more likely a crime of opportunity. With the door locked and outgoing mail in the door, which was a very common practice in the 1980s, I believe Cindy left the office voluntarily to run an errand or perhaps take an early lunch, and was abducted as a crime of opportunity. Regardless, more than 4 decades have passed since Cynthia Jane Anderson disappeared, leaving behind a mystery that continues to perplex investigators and haunt the Toledo community. Despite countless theories, dedicated searches, and tantalizing but unproven leads, her fate remains unknown. Cindy's case serves as a somber reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring pain of unanswered questions. It also underscores the need for persistence in seeking justice and closure. Though her parents are no longer here to hope for her return, the search for truth persists, driven by a community that refuses to let her story fade into history. If you have any thoughts, theories, or comments about this case, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and may the truth reveal itself in the shadows.